welcome to another Daily Digest video. I am Ross Merriam, and today I am continuing my kick of Hollow One decks. I featured a Jund DeathVine list with Garter's Vengeance a couple weeks ago, I think it is at this point, and this one really caught my eye because it eschews Vengevine. So instead we have creatures like Bloodghast and Flamewake Phoenix that are good to put in the graveyard, and then instead of Cathartic Reunion, because it has such a high density of cards to put in the graveyard that are good, it plays... I can't even remember the name of this card. The 1-mana one. Burning Inquiry. 1 mana, each player draws 3, discards 3 at random. So that card by itself turns on Hollow One. You can cast them for 0 afterwards if they're remaining in your hand. It also makes Garbang Angler a lot better. Both of these cards help recur Flamewake Phoenix. We've got some other badness cards to discard, so just a lot more ways to take advantage of Faithless Looting and the Burning Inquiry. Fortunately, this hand has no lands, so I'm going to have to mulligan it. And of course Call to the Netherworld. This is actually a pretty key card to the deck because if you discard it alongside a creature you actually want in your hand, like a Hollow One or Garbag Angler, because of mana 0, you can now just get it back. And you've effectively turned your Burning Inquiry into you draw 3 and discard 2 cards, whereas they draw 3, discard 3 at random. This is a pretty bad 6. It doesn't really do anything. Like cast a Flamewake Phoenix. I don't have any looting spells. I think I actually have to mulligan this. This 5 is not bad. I'm going to be able to... Oh, they mulligan to 6, so that's nice of them. I'm going to... who's on the play? I am. That is awkward. Because I'd want to discard this with the Faithless Looting, but I have to fetch it away to cast the looting. I'm incentivized to looting immediately because if my opponent has a discard spell and takes it, my hand falls apart very quickly. But I also, in order to make this Hollow One anything, I need this looting to either find a Burning Inquiry for next turn that doesn't get taken, or a Street Wraith. Given that my opponent's mulled to 6 and I mulled to 5, I think I'm going to take the risk and just leave this on top and play land go. Odds are my opponent is going to think that I have kept a second land on top that I'd like to draw. What they have left on top, lucky them. But now I can find a land off this Faithless Looting to both cast the Hollow One and return the Bloodghast, which is reasonably likely. Okay, and our opponent is not a Thoughtseize deck. So that's good. They are a Path to Exile deck, which is good against us, but we have a lot of things they need to path. Ooh, top, top. Top, top. How lucky can you be? Okay. Life total is a bit of a resource in this matchup, so I will just find the Blood Crypt and play a Faithless Looting. Oh, wow. We have now... So now we can... discard Flamewake Phoenix and Bloodghast. This was a very good Faithless Looting. We can now cycle this Street Wraith. Play this land. I want it untapped. Return this. Play this Hollow One for free. And now, beginning combat, return this. Yes. So we have put all of our things onto the battlefield. This attacks. And next turn I can flash back the Faithless Looting. I'm at 13, so... And I'm going to go to 11 for another Blood Crypt. I'm a little surprised there are 4 Blood Crypts in this deck and only 1 Blackleaf Cliff. So that seems weird to me. It feels like they started with Death Shadow in their deck, eventually cut Death Shadow, and didn't adjust the mana base. But you just have to... I understand wanting a lot of fetches for Bloodghast, but the deck should have 4 Blackleaf Cliffs. It's just the best land for the deck. So they've played another Serum Visions, bottom top this time. Gemstone. Oh, our opponent is not a Path Exile deck. They are a Ad Nauseam deck. That is much worse for us. Definitely worse for us. Is there any reason to... I think I just attack first. Three. So I could flashback Faithless Looting here, or I can just hardcast Gurmag Angler because I've drawn the fetch land. That puts them at lethal next turn, forcing them to either start using Angelic, whatever, the 1-mana split-second card, or have Unlife for next turn. Given how often they've topped with Serum Visions, I believe they have the Unlife, but it's still favorable for me to play the Angler anyway, because that lets me, that turns Unlife into only a 1-turn way to survive. So they'll have to have a Unlife and Intervention and make their land drops into Ad Nauseam to win. So I'm going to play the Angler. I think Mountain is probably better than Swamp. I have 2 black sources to hardcast Bloodghast, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have a 5/5. So we went turn 2, make 8 power, attack for 2. Turn 3, attack for 8, make a 5/5. And turn 4, threaten lethal. That's a very strong start. But I think we're about to get unlifed. Now we'll bring them to, yeah. So this will bring them to -3. And then the intervention shouldn't even make them survive. They need to have an extra mana, because they need to unlife this turn to stay at 1. I'll keep a card in my hand in case I need things for looting. It also makes Burning Inquiry better. Burning Inquiry could be very important in this matchup as just a weird piece of disruption, but I'm pretty sure it's a damage that would reduce you to less than 1, reduces you to 1 instead, but this is damage that would add poison counters, so I don't think it lets them live. Not sure what they could have to buy a turn. Sometimes they have Darkness, but that's usually in the sideboard. If they had untapped land, pitched Simian Spirit Guide to Ad Nauseam, that would have been good enough. Okay, sort of an irrelevant card at this point. Our opponent is not really trying to kill our stuff. I'm going to do what I can, attack with my stuff. Yeah, we would have given them 1 extra turn had we not cast the Angler on turn 3, and that turn could very easily just been land 5 Ad Nauseam, kill you. Yeah, yeah. If they have the 1 white spell, they stay at -3. They get a bunch of poison. They don't die, but as soon as they get priority on their turn, or as soon as state-based actions are taken, they will die then. Okay. Wow. Well, I don't. My sideboard is very much inclined towards beating creatures, which is awkward in this matchup. I definitely want Collective Brutality, as that is a duress effect. Do I want Engineered Explosives? Unfortunately, I don't have a source of mana outside of red and black, so I can't kill Phyrexian Unlife with EE. I can kill Lotus Blooms, but usually they just have the kill once the bloom comes in. Could Blood Moon be relevant? If they don't have one of their artifacts, that's also good. Maybe I'm supposed to have a Rakdos Charm. This can kill Lotus Bloom, but also it can kill Pentad Prism. How good is Blood Moon? If I get it down before they Pentad Prism, which is highly unlikely, that stops Prism from being a thing, but Lotus Bloom completely wrecks it. I think I'll just bring in these 3. Temper is definitely my worst card. I already have some reach with Lightning Bolt. Flameblade Adept is also nice in this deck, good with Burning Inquiry. Nice 1-drop. You know, like turn 1 Adept, turn 2 Faithless Looting, discard a Bloodghast, and something else, and then play a Hollow 1 and attack for 3 and have a bunch of power in play. Really like how this deck is built. This 1 Bomat Courier might not be good, but that's fine as a 1-of probably. I'd probably just have a 4th Angler. Angler seems great in this deck. Yeah, our sideboard is not very well set up for this matchup. So not super confident in these games. I'm going to have really aggressive draws or have them not find a, potentially just not find an unlife. Unlife is very important for them. This hand looks quite good. I'm going to go, just like I said, turn 1 adept, turn 2 looting, Bloodghast Hollow one. So a little bit prophetic there. Clairvoyant, as I often am. Lightline of Sanctity. Well, that stops Collective Brutality and Fiery Temper, so also makes Lightning Bolt quite bad. Another card we don't really have an answer to. Well, hopefully I can nab a Pentad Prism with that. I'll just get a Blood Crypt. Play my Flame Blade Adept. Bam. Gotcha. No dig spell for them I kind of like. Yeah, this looks like a Prism. Okay, do I kill the Prism immediately, or do I get more a faster clock? You know, I don't think they can kill me next turn with the Prism. I don't think they're going to be using the mana. I think next turn they're going to ideally just play land on life and then try to kill me the next turn with Ad Nauseam. They could kill me with land, SSG, 1 mana spell, Ad Nauseam. But that's 4 specific cards out of 5, so I think I need to prioritize getting a clock down. So I'm going to looting here. I definitely want to discard Bloodghast, and I guess I'll discard a land. Like I could discard Call, but I don't want to return the Bloodghast. So yeah, I guess I just discard a land here. I'll discard the Bloodstained Mire, I guess. Yeah. Try this Flame Blade Adept. Cycle this. Now my Hollow one is going to be free. This Bolt is bad. Play a land. Yes. I guess now I'll actually return Street Wraith with this call. So cast. Attack for 4. Pretty neat. 4-point attack there. Brings him to 16. And calling back Street Wraith is also nice. I'm going to try to think about how I want to use the Street Wraith. Oh, man. This might allow them to unlife this turn because I didn't kill that. But they were going to unlife before I killed them anyway. Ooh, another Prism. How do they scry? Bottom. That's a good sign. Is there now any real point in me killing a Pentad Prism? So they're at 7 mana now. If they go to 8 mana, they can unlife into Ad Nauseam. But they didn't play a land that turn, so I can safely assume they don't have one. I'm sort of worried about Darkness. My other option is just flashing back this Faithless Looting. And Canyon Slough sort of makes that attractive because next turn I can go land, Rakdos Charm, cycle. Discarding 2 more cards lets me attack for 10, puts them to 6. Whereas if I just attack them to 8, I guess either way they go to -1 next turn. So it doesn't affect my clock at all. And it doesn't affect me getting them at a low life total for doesn't affect me getting them at a low life total for Bloodghast. And attacking first, if they have a Darkness here they want to use, they'll use a counter on a Prism and I can kill the other one. So I like attacking just for 8 here. Okay. Destroy target artifact. Let's destroy that one. See if this is ever relevant. Peer through depths. Okay. Probably a card they were going to cast anyway. Maybe not. But see if they can find their ad nauseum here. They just find a Serum Visions. Also good. They are dead next turn. They absolutely need one of their ways to not die. Darkness or one of their white combo pieces. Okay. I do wonder if Death Shadow would be good in this deck, but kind of want to just have more black creatures in my graveyard for these calls. I can imagine sometimes playing Inquiry and not being able to call anything. You don't really want to return Bloodghast. You have Street Wraith and Gurmag Angler. Top of the Serum Visions. That's not a good sign. And another one. So they've drawn a card they really wanted that turn. And this will be at least one top with this Visions. Okay, imagine that card they want is a... There's no way they're dead next turn. Top again. Not great signs. Okay. Another bolt is not good. So let's flashback a Faithless Looting. So I can just discard, call Angler, return the Angler. That leaves exactly 6 cards in my graveyard. I can play Swamp Cast the Angler. It leaves more cards in my hand for other discard effects, so sounds good to me. Classic phone ringing. Okay. So let's, do I have to click somewhere? Yeah. Return the Angler. Attack you for 9, probably get Darkness, and then add more power to my board, so my 7 already here is not short, although I guess with the slew it would still be lethal. Yep, they indeed have Darkness, but they're only on 6 mana, so... But I guess they kept topping, so what? They might just have the combo here after there's a Darkness. They might have just found it all. But not much we can do about that. Am I dead? Yeah, looks like I'm dead. Ooh. No, is this an unlife? Yeah, still could easily be dead here. That buys them another turn. So like they just didn't have enough mana. Not sure what I can find here, but I'm gonna try. Another lightning bolt. Yeah, the ley line putting in some work. Otherwise these bolts I think would have finished them off pretty well. I guess if they have to go for a Lab Maniac kill, I can beat them. Oh, they're peering. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Don't mind ad nauseum, please. Oh, they found a Darkness. Well, I guess it's better than them finding ad nauseum. That will buy them a turn. If they don't have the ad nauseum already. Let's see. Looks like they don't have it. Okay, gotta fade one more draw step. Attack you. Attack with all of my creatures. Yep. Multiple darknesses. Please don't kill me. Oh, wow. Well, a little lucky there. I guess they were topping the Peer Through Depths and other cantrips because that was just as good, or let them see even more cards. But just we put a lot of pressure on them. They were not able to assemble the combo in time. That's sort of the name of the game. Definitely a little lucky there in game 2, but pretty impressed with how explosive this deck is. I think it makes a lot of sense to cut Vengevine. It makes your deck less explosive, no doubt, but it makes it a lot easier to sequence, I think. The Vengevine, you had these 1-mana creatures that you wanted to save because you need to return the Vengevines. You didn't really have enough to reload if they dealt with them, whereas the ability to recur Flamewake Phoenix and Bloodghast is a lot easier. And the deck is not that much less explosive because it's able to cast Hollow Ones a lot faster and a lot more reliably. So pretty impressed with this version of the deck. I think it might end up being the way to go. So hope you enjoyed seeing that one, and you can come back and see me on Friday. Bye.